Hey y'all, it's Natalie from Therapy Without a Degree. I'm here to tell you about our Audible trial. It's a 30-day free trial from audible.com. Our link is audibletrial.com/therapy without a degree. You can choose from any one of 200,000 books and you'll get it absolutely free. Right now I'm currently reading Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates and War Against All Puerto Ricans. Any one of these books you can find on our Audible free trial. And again, that's audibletrial.com/therapy without a degree.
Cool. Microphone check. Therapy Without a Degree. Chapter, I believe it's chapter 108.
Really?
Yeah, chapter 108.
108, and this is the chapter after our live show.
Word.
So if you haven't seen that yet, go on YouTube, Therapy Without a Degree, and you can watch pretty much the full live show, right?
Yeah, the whole entire live show.
Yeah, the whole live show.
It's broken up between two parts. We got part 1 and part 2 on there.
Yeah.
Just go subscribe. All right, people?
Yes.
Or else.
Subscribe and also like. And if you like our content, just give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and then also watch us over here. Watch us on Instagram at Therapy Without a Degree. Don't miss us because we're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we ain't playing with the content out here.
No.
I don't think anyone's being able to see us leave with the content. I drop content every day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm mad busy.
Instagram TV is, dude, that's going good.
You see that shit, right? You've been noticing.
I have been noticing because today I just got a slew of followers and I'm like, from what? And then I saw you tag me in something and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. People like it. People are interacting really well with it.
Yeah, people are really paying attention to the IGTV. It's something different. Also, if you're a creator out there, start using IGTV. All right. I don't know what's up with Instagram, but the algorithm right now is crazy. I think they're just trying to make it the new YouTube. But yo, this banner looks sick.
It does, doesn't it?
For real, this shit looks fly, yo. Now y'all you can see it in the video too.
Yeah.
That's if I release this whole entire thing. You'll be able to see the banner. That shit is fire though. Where'd you get the banner from?
Well, I get almost all of my banners from Painful Pleasures. And it's just a tattoo supply website, but they also do
Painful Pleasures.
Yeah, Painful Pleasures. Yeah, I always tell my people pain and pleasure are really close together. But besides the point, these banners, amazing quality and super affordable. And also it's coming in from local. So the turnaround time is maybe 5 days, which was perfect timing for our show. We got this shit 3 days before the show.
Yeah, that shit is lit. I just want to walk around with it. I just want
on
to
your bag, right?
Yeah,
on
just right on my back, as a cape.
Yeah. So people can know.
I'm gonna change my Instagram name. It's not gonna be Mr. Superman, Mr. Therapy.
That's not bad. Somebody might actually have that already.
They probably do.
Because that's probably a good name.
But I like Mr. Superman though. Maybe I'll just put that on a cape and then I'll throw the S somewhere, the Superman symbol, is my little trademark. My trademark on my trademark.
Yo, you're hilarious.
I'm just saying.
We could put a little U on the corner.
Wait a minute.
Oh, flying through the air.
yo, Marv, I need you for that. I need you.
we need Phil flying through the air in the therapy clouds.
Yo, do it as Phil, bro. You think?
Oh my god, that would be great.
Just chilling above the therapy,
He's look. He liked it. He's good.
Oh shit. He's here.
Oh,
Let's stop telling our ideas. What we're gonna do is
Phil's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. He's probably out thotting.
He's not.
No, he's
working.
No, all right. Excuses. All right. He's nah, man, I mentally checked out of that.
That's funny.
He's funny too because he was yeah, man, I thought we weren't recording this week. It wasn't on the calendar. That was my bad.
No, it's cool. I've
been doing a lot, yo.
No.
But how did you feel about the live show?
Oh, okay. I really liked it. So going into it, I was a little bit nervous, but then that wasn't caught on camera because it wasn't caught on camera. But it was awesome because we had such a great turnout. I'm telling you, the only people that know us are the people that went to the event and us. Is that tickets started rolling in Friday, wild style. And we had a full house, which was amazing. But then we had some great topics. We had some awesome crowd interaction. And on top of that, we had performers, which were just incredible, by the way. Yeah. So it was great. It was just such a great combination of us interacting with the crowd, and the crowd really just I feel like they were holding on to our words, which was great, but I feel like it was great. I can't even lie.
Yeah, me either. You try to
downplay it a little bit, but it wasn't. There's nothing to downplay. Or you try to think
of things like, obviously there's so much stuff that we have to work on, but I was so amazed.
For sure.
I was like, yeah, I said it while we were there. I was like, I did not think, especially because the tickets weren't coming in. So I'm like, damn.
Are people going to buy at the door? What's going to happen? But we didn't have a lot of people actually buying at the door. Like, most of them came through online. Yeah. People got paid and they was like, oh, we're going to buy this ticket right now.
They probably were like, they've been waiting. They were waiting the whole like 2 weeks for them to get paid for them to buy the tickets. But yeah, I was really, really happy how it came out. The music was amazing. I love music. Shout out to June.
Oh yeah.
That was his first time performing, right?
It was his first time performing in maybe a year or something like that, for sure. So that was a good experience for him too, because I think like from that perspective, and who also was a first time performer, Jose. Right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Jose was a first time performer as well, which was awesome. We had Dre Love, we had Live Lovely, right?
His team, yeah.
We had Velvet and Capital G, which was awesome, and we had our comedian, which was Phil. Phil Course. So it was
great. It too.
He killed it. Oh, that he did such a great opening, which was awesome. So I think everybody did such a great job as well, because between our show and then having these artists come around, it really brought people in. I mean, it was full on entertainment. So I'm looking forward to the next one, where we're not going to tell you when that's going to be. We're working on that.
We're working on a date, but stay tuned, all right? Because if you didn't go, we know.
Next time, come.
We know, all right? It's like Santa Claus. Like, we see you when you're sleeping. We see you when you're awake. We know, all right? But, for real. The next one coming up soon. And then we also in some ideas of a bunch of other stuff. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Stay tuned. Also, we just because today is Friday, we recorded the podcast on Friday. So yesterday we released the Throwback Failure Thursday. Yeah. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's on the YouTube, Throwback Failure Thursday. Yes,
it's on YouTube. It's on IGTV, and it's just full of gems for you guys. Listen, all of this stuff is just to share some enlightenment for you guys.
Word.
And for us, because we're always learning stuff too.
Oh hell yeah! Now we all learn from each other. Yeah. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from other people's failures.
Word.
And then you want to be able to I actually want to hit up the guy. I want to hit up the guy that we had from the last one, and I want to be like, oh, so what's up, man? Like you said, you learned from like your videos and whatnot to tag. So I'm like, oh, how do you tag?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do now that would you learn from it? So. And you build that community from it as well.
That's big. I feel like building that community is so important, because then you have just this network of people who are they're open and they're willing to learn from their mistakes, but also they're willing to get in front of the camera and kind of hold themselves accountable. And I think a big part of learning is accountability, right? Word. So that's one of those things where it's like, all right, we're talking to people and we're going back and forth with them, but they're willing to be vulnerable enough to be like, okay, I made a mistake and here's what I learned from it, and that takes a lot to really put yourself out there like that.
Yeah, to actually keep it real and say what you failed at and what you learned from it, because everyone doesn't want, no matter how powerful you are and how, how confident you are, I feel like it's always you're always a little embarrassed.
Yeah, no, for sure.
To say, when you think you failed at something.
For sure. I feel like especially in the sort of the social media age, right? You have so much of this, I don't know, false perfectionism, where it's like, okay, my life is great and, I'm making money and I'm doing this. But seldom do people see all the stuff that's happening in the background. We're not making a post and saying, oh yeah, today I felt horribly depressed and I couldn't get out of bed. And so this is what happened, right? And it's no, but those things are useful. Sometimes people need to see, especially people in positions of they already have a large following. They already have this sort of network of people that view them a particular way. It's good for them to show their humanity. I feel like it's a part of our humanity, right? A human condition to fail and to fuck up sometimes, and be sad and kind of go through the motions of doing that. And still, you can still do that. Be sad, be depressed, kind of have those hard days and also be successful. You can have those two things.
We all go through it. Nobody is nobody's perfect, and we all go through this emotion. That was the main reason why. There's always multiple layers, but that's the main reason behind is that we want to show people that we all fail.
Word.
And we all fuck up. Mm-hmm. No matter what, no matter how old you are. I loved it that when we went out there, we had so much different diversity.
Yeah.
We had the older lady, we had the younger guy, we had all these different people, and it's you see they all, and it was all you could tell it was recent little failures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's you can see no matter what, what walk of life,
Yeah, no, we did have a sweet age range because we had the girl who was in high school, and then we had the older couple.
Yeah.
Which was like, I mean, you're talking from like maybe 15 to 16 years old, all the way up until maybe a couple in their 60s. And that's a big age range to sit here and be like, yeah, we all make mistakes. None of us are exempt from it.
Yep. So just remember that if you're listening, if you're watching, whatever it is, like if you just failed at something, it's all good. Just don't focus on that. Like, because where your where your energy goes, your focus flows, all that, like just focus on what you learned.
Let it be a lesson to you, because, you know, like in the mistakes, like, you know, we're going back to like nobody's exempt from mistakes, but within the mistake, there's something that you can possibly learn from it. Just don't do it again.
Just don't do it again. That's the key, though, is not doing it again. Mm-hmm. Why do you feel like people, even though if they know the mistake, they know the failure, what do you think behind it? Or maybe you would know because you do like research for fun. So no, I'm just saying you do like use the research for fun. So what do you think it is, or what is it? I should ask, that people just keep doing the same mistake. Like, you know, like I know, like eating bad food is not good for me and I'm gonna gain weight and be fat, but I keep doing it. Like all these different type of shit though. Like in real, like, you know, we all do.
I think when it comes to food, I think it's because it's delicious.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole side. That's a whole side thing.
That's okay. But when it comes to like, I mean, like hardcore mistakes, and here my friend listening, cool, Mickey Killens, hey.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah. I think oftentimes when people make mistakes and they maybe continue to do the same thing, it's possible because, listen, the human condition, you have some ounce of stubbornness. Everybody kind of has that to one extent or another. So I think it's possible that there's this ounce of them being stubborn, maybe not wanting to like do something, or maybe somebody says something to you, right? It's like, oh yeah, like I was doing something similar to you and this happened to me. And it's like I think of it like this, like, you know, you might be with somebody for a long time, they keep cheating on you over and over and over and over and over again. All right. But what does that say to you? What does that say to you? Are they going to keep doing it? What do? Do you go back with them or do you leave them? So, you know, in the midst of that, it's like, all right, yo, you're not learning your lesson. You're doing the same thing and getting the same result. You're not going to get a different result continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again. But there's different ways to achieve different results.
Word.
Right? So I think in it could be holding on to some false ideal, some stubbornness, because sometimes we just don't want to hear shit from people. You know, sometimes like we don't want to hear the bad shit that we do, and we got to learn the hard way. You know, what's the topic? Failures.
Hey, right now we shooting the shit. We just kicking it. But we talking a little bit about like failing basically and learning from it, because we were talking about our Throwback Failure Thursday segments on YouTube and a little bit everywhere. All we throw it everywhere. Yeah. And but you know, we're just talking about that and
let it go.
Why people like you fail and you continue failing in the same thing. But, you know, what is it, you know, and you could obviously dig deep and do the research on it, but I kind of want like just the regular, what we could think of answer. You know what I mean? Like something simple, like what, you know, what parts of it is. And I think you make a lot of really good points. Also, it's like you said, hope.
Yeah, false hope.
People have hope.
Like false hope and being stubborn. Like if you run a race and you lose and you don't practice, you're not learning anything from it. You're just like, okay, well, I lost, I'll just try again. But like, there's so much more that goes into trying again, right? Building yourself back up, learning how to run faster, prepping your body, doing all these different things. Like, you're not going to tell me you're going to fucking win the race and you don't train. Yeah. So what is it that you have to do different? So there's something that needs to be implemented or maybe taken away. And really, I feel like the solution tends to lie within our everyday habits and not necessarily outside of that. It's like, it's not like the weather stopped you from winning the race. You stopped yourself from winning the race, right? What can you do to change that? And, you know, we all have things that we can possibly change.
What were we getting on in the chat? What's the top? Oh, okay. Let it go.
Let it go.
Word, let it go. Yeah. Let the failure go. For real.
Word.
But I think also with that too, that the habit is, I think it has to do also with sometimes you just feel like you're not good enough. I feel like when I talk to a lot of different people and you see that they keep repeating it, I think like I see that they don't think they can achieve it.
Do you know, that brings up something I wanted to talk about actually. Okay. It's called why why can I think about it now? Oh, imposter syndrome. And so I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Have you heard of it before?
I've heard of it, but dig in.
Okay, so imposter syndrome is like you feel like you're not good enough at something, or somehow you're going to be found out. Like somebody's going to find out that you're not as good as you think you are, you say you are, or like you're, you know, not really doing the things that you say that you're doing. But it's like, okay, like you could be hitting all the marks, hitting all the checks, doing the things the right way, but you still feel disillusioned, inadequate. Yes. And you have these feelings of inadequacy, and it's like kind of like the secret thing, but that feelings of inadequacy kind of stops you from surpassing or kind of like reaching a peak, right? And it's like it's not that there's anything wrong with you, right? There's nothing inherently wrong with you for having imposter syndrome, because it happens to a lot of people. Actually, it's noted that more women deal with imposter syndrome than men, like, and it's by a small margin. It's a small margin. But that's something that can stop you from, let's say, you know what, I don't deserve that job. And it's like, no, you have the credentials. You can do it. Then you fucking deserve it, right?
Right.
Go for it. And if you don't get it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not good enough. You might have to just try somewhere else, you know? So those kind of things, like you might get turned down in one place, but then another place might hire you, and so on and so on. But I feel like that stuff is very internal. It's internalized, and that sort of internalized dialogue with yourself, right? Because it's a dialogue that you have with yourself. Oh, am I good enough to do this? Maybe I'm not. Damn, somebody's going to find out that like I suck, or I don't do this well, right? But that's inside. And what's convincing you of that? Oftentimes it's external things, you know, maybe seeing somebody else and seeing like the social media age. I think
your mind like turns into like algorithm.
Yeah, no, that's what I say.
As you know what I mean? Like as you get older and little things happen, you know, from childhood, and you keep going, it's just like an algorithm, like little things, you know, because I see that a lot. What you saying imposter syndrome, I think so many people have it. Now, when you really think about it, because there's so many times like people will grow up a certain way and they'll be like, nah, or like they'll have a certain circumstance. And they won't see beyond that circumstance. Like they see the bigger picture, but that middle process, I feel like they don't even see it, or they just blinded by. They look at their circumstances.
No, I see what you're saying.
Or they look at their upbringing.
Yeah. And it's like that's like the thing that's stopping you, and it's like it's not your upbringing isn't necessarily even the thing that's stopping, because there's so many other things. Like there's so many systems, for instance, that still have to be dismantled, because when we're talking about imposter syndrome, we're talking about mental health, right? So that falls in line with mental health. And oftentimes, depending on your circumstance, you might not have access to proper mental health care, whether it's either not affordable or maybe not covered by insurance, or there's so many different things that are kind of in line. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to go like see a therapist for proper mental health help. You could talk to somebody else, maybe a friend or a family member. But I can understand why that can be hard as well, because we kind of covered it on another episode. But sometimes talking to like a stranger is actually a lot better. Like it's like you could just kind of let out all your secrets, whatever. You're never going to see them again. Or
people may not even know that they have something.
No, you might not even know. And there's this also thing, like, as well, depending on what culture you come from, where it's like a taboo to even be like, oh, I'm gonna go see a therapist. Like that's for crazy people. Like Latino culture, at least growing up where I was, it's like nobody talked about that shit. You go pray about your problems. We don't talk to a therapist, you know. And it's like, no, like me kind of coming out and talking to like my mother and my sister and my father and like my family members, my cousins, it's like I talk to them and they're like, yo, yeah, I've dealt with that shit too. And I'm like, what's going on? You know, what is this stigma that's stopping us from getting the proper mental health help that we need, whether it's imposter syndrome or depression or this sort of crippling self-doubt, the self-doubt that doesn't allow you to get up out of bed, right? And all those different things, and it all falls in line with access to mental health, right? So it's like we could say we have access to mental health, but not everybody has insurance to cover that kind of stuff. And so the aid, I guess my suggestion with aid would be like talking to other people, talk to people that you care about, you know, and that could somehow be an alleviation for something like that. It's not going to be a cure, you know, but every day is like, I think of like mental health as like a journey, right? It's like you don't have this like one area where it's like, okay, I'm going to get here and I'm going to be happy. Like No, it's not like that.
Yeah, it's never gonna be like that. It's never gonna be that easy.
No.
Especially like when you're really deep, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a process, and you're right. It's a process even to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You may have your highs, your lows, and
Mm-hmm.
especially I feel like a lot of people with depression, you just go through these random highs, random lows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I usually do sometimes. Like I don't know why I'll be good, and then I won't be good.
No, it's waves. It's certainly waves. Yeah. It's certainly waves, and it could be things that trigger you. You know, can you go down on that?
Oh,
it looks like people? A lot of people were commenting on this.
Oh,
great podcast.
Ronnie Garcia, Jess Connolly.
Thank you so much.
I thought it was gonna automatically scroll.
Me too. I thought it was gonna scroll as well.
Maybe I did something.
No,
I don't know.
That's cool. That's kind. That's all right. That's okay.
All right.
We'll figure it out as we go along.
Great podcast. You'll be in the future, my bet. Thank you. You the man. Met him at Sprint.
Sweet. Look at that.
Okay, yo, come to Sprint. Yo, sponsored by Sprint. Therapy with Agree.
That was good. That was good.
Sponsored by Sprint. All right, 5 lines, yo, $180. Come through.
That was good.
But it comes in waves, you know. So I think you just have to kind of keep riding that wave.
Yeah, word.
You know how they say riding that wave? Like
no, it's true. It's true because so much can come from it. Like, I don't know. I feel like so much can come from coming undone in that way.
What you mean?
Being really low, or like that sort of reflection that you might get from like, I don't know, like we were talking about like our highs and our lows, right? And like you're like peaking, right? You're like at the highest that you can get. Job is great, you know, you're getting money, you're at the height of your career. But then something happens, and like I was saying, like something can trigger you and completely.
That is how bad. Yo, I love this shirt, bro.
Yeah.
What does it say? 20%?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. We good. Is it still rolling or no? Word, you the man. Yo, that shirt is awesome,
Thank
bro.
you.
Yo, show the people the shirt. Kind of get over here. We got get close to that.
Right here. Yeah.
No, we gotta have the artifice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is official, bro.
You know where I got it from?
Where?
I got it from Rich and Matt over there at GameStop when they first put it out.
Where?
GameStop.
Oh, word? Yeah, that shit is official, bro.
I bought it immediately when it was on sale. It was like $9. I was like, take that.
Yo, me and Alex is the man. Yo, we got the same taste in shirts too. He loves my horror shirt.
Yeah, you guys have good graphic shirts.
That's actually yo. I make sure that's all I try to buy now, like just the graphic shirts.
Word, because you could do clickbait.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's kind of cool though, because you never know what I'm gonna come with like each week. Like this week, this week I'm representing because I've been on the move today. But
it actually looks like a wing on your shirt.
Yeah, see.
It looks like a wing.
I liked it because they actually finally got me shirts. I've only been back in Sprint for like a fucking year, and they finally got me shirts.
You got lucky.
And it was actually a pretty dope shirt. I was like, yo, I could actually go out with this, yo.
Word.
But so get back into what you were going, because you were getting somewhere pretty good with that.
So I was saying there's all right. So I was talking about our highs and our lows, and so there's this sense of, I don't know, like when you kind of come undone, like where like you hit not even rock bottom, but just this place after having that high, and you something prompts that low, right? And the things that you take away from it, and kind of like it almost allows you to learn a little bit more about yourself, because those are the things that we do behind closed doors, right? Like when we unravel, it tends to not happen publicly for the average person.
Yeah.
The unraveling and kind of that public situation tends to happen, I feel like, more so for celebrities. Like we could say like the quote unquote like the Britney Spears shaving her head incident. But like the older I get, the more I get it. Like a bitch will shave her head off if shit hits the fan. Like, you know. Word. And I understand that, and I understand how that was a mental health issue, and how kind of there's this need for control. There's this need for like wanting to kind of have some ounce of control in your life, right? So, oh, you got a viewer, bro. Cool. Hey.
What up, people?
Yeah. So there's something that is to be learned from it, because you have this low, you hit this bottom, and then you come back up again, right? And you're like, damn, yo, I got out of that. Word. How did you get out of that? You learned how you got out of that, and then you have more tools in your arsenal. And so it becomes this thing of like, okay, I've been here before, you know. How am I going to get out of this? I know that I'm not going to stay in this wave of sadness for this long. I know what to do now. But there's always going to be something new that happens because we get older. We have family members that die. We have things that happen to us personally, and all those different things that we kind of hold on and build upon. And so, you know, at the show, I was talking about how like love is complex, and kind of we were going back and forth because like you're of the thought that love is very simple, right? And it's like when I think of love, I don't think of it being simple, but I understand where you're coming from because like when I love my daughter, I'm like, oh, that's simple. I don't have to think about it. But when I think about like family and certain like that, like those are like real complex because
complex love.
It's complex love because like they could hurt you, but you still love them. And it's like, fuck, but you hurt me. Like, how can I still love you, but I still feel for you? And so, that also plays
different
a role.
Types of love.
Yeah, it's different types of love. And I feel like that sort of love, that the connections that we have with people also play a role in our healing and how we view ourselves as well. Because if you're surrounded by people who, for instance, may also be dealing with negativity, like their own mental health problems, but they don't know how to fix it, and they're kind of perpetuating this continuing cycle, right? Of like, I don't know how to get out of this, and I'm gonna kind of like unconsciously bring you along with me. Like misery loves company. And it's like, you know, you could distance yourself from this person, heal yourself, because then we're not dealing with generational pain. And I think of that, like, you know, sometimes we learn stuff from like our parents that we might want to do something differently because we feel like, oh, that person taught us this, and it's like, I don't want to teach that to my kid because it harmed me as a child, right? And so instead of like perpetuating this like this trauma or this like something that you kind of take along with you, when you hit your high from coming back from that low, you're like, fuck, yes, I made it, right? I'm out of it now. And so you learn something new. And so that's why I'm saying like there's so much that comes from unraveling, right? And kind of being vulnerable in that sense.
Do you ever notice that sometimes when you have those waves, right, within depression, and you get those highs, that sometimes that high makes the low in a weird way?
Of course, yeah, because like, the higher you get, the more farther you feel. It's like the higher you are, the farther you fall.
Or if like, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they went really into like the scientific like method to it, and with the name, there's probably a certain name for it, but it's like when you achieve something. It's a weird depression. It's a weird part to it, but it's like you achieve something that you really been wanting, and then you just get depressed. Like they kind of also correlated it to like after like women give birth.
Oh,
like
postpartum depression. Yeah.
But they correlated that a little bit to also like, let's just say you've been dying to win this race. But you deal with depression. But you've been dying to deal with the race, and then you won the race. But then you get depressed. And it's weird because like it definitely is accurate. Like I've been there.
I get exactly what you're saying.
Like it's a weird fucking feeling. I've had happen. I never really, because I've always suffered with depression, but it's
very particular.
It is. Like I remember after when I interviewed Imani, I was like, to me that was huge, and I didn't think I would ever even get it. I DM'd him, and I was like, just kind of throwing a shot in the dark, you know what I mean? And then it happened, and it was amazing. Yeah. But I remember right after that, I felt like one of some of the worst moments. I don't know why, because it was weird. It was like, damn, now what?
Okay, that's exactly what it is. The now what? There's this, I feel like there's a reality that sets in. And I say that because you have this, like you hit that goal. You get to that peak, wherever it is, but now you're like, okay, well, like you said, what's next? What am I going to do? I've worked all of this time, and it's like, and this is why I say that happiness, that getting out of the depression, that it's not this obscure destination. It's not like oh, like
you know,
if you woke up tomorrow and you were your ideal weight, would you be happy?
Yeah, you think, but then
but you're still, it doesn't erase all the traumas that you've been through. It doesn't erase all the lows that you've been through. I'm the same Joe with the same brain and the same circumstances. I'm just thin.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you've reached this destination thinking this is going to be the thing that makes you happy. And I think it goes back to that sort of that false ideal. And it's like, it will give you happiness, but it's not long term.
Word.
So there's that from it, because in the midst of doing my coloring book and doing all of that, the goal was to do it because I was working through my depression. I got the coloring book, I sold out, and then I was like, what the fuck do I do next?
Yeah, it's like
where do I go from here?
Like you feel so accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird fucking feeling.
Yeah.
You feel so accomplished, but at the same time you feel like, okay, that's what I was good for.
Yeah.
Like now, like basically kind of like this. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of really nothing else to kind of really get into it. You know what I mean? But that's really kind of the feeling. And it's
For
just
sure.
it's a weird way. And the more I think about it, even just sitting here talking, I think it's maybe because in a weird way, you on that journey to that, I feel like maybe X off a lot of other things that are really going on in your head.
Yeah, because you're busy.
You're so focusing on getting to that one destination.
It's like this. It's like a map, and it's like an X on a map. This is the treasure, but then like there's all this other shit that you're going through, and it's like,
and you're not thinking about it because you're just racing to get to that feel that happiness that you think is gonna get you you're so there, and then you hit it, and then it's like.
But everyday life is still the same.
Exactly. Everything else, that whole travel is still there, but you just kind of really didn't think about it until you got there, because then that was all what was surrounding you.
Yeah. That's the whole focus on it.
And then when you have like at least the type of person, at least like me, I guess what I realize with it, because I do a lot of self-assessment, and it's like, damn, I do so many of those little treasures that it's like you're never maybe focusing on those little things. For
sure. And those are just little internal things that we're constantly kind of dealing with, because it's like, I feel like the treasure is like a minor alleviation to like the everyday like
a
pain.
Distraction.
For sure. It's a distraction to the everyday pain that you might be going through, but the treasure doesn't alleviate the pain. You know, it's just something else to be happy about, right? It's something to kind of put in your pocket and be like, oh yeah, like this good thing happened to me. I got this interview. I got the job. I made the book. But I'm still dealing with these things. So it was kind of like I was talking to June, and you know, your PC's running low. And he'll say, "Oh,
you may want to plug it in."
Yeah,
like you
right.
May. Like it tries to be map point.
You want to do it?
I don't know if it's gonna reach, but we could try it.
You might get lucky.
Might get lucky.
So, and he'll say to me like, "How are you doing today? Or how was your day? You know, how are you feeling?" You know, and I'm like one to like even like occasionally ask my friends, like, instead of how are you doing, like, how are you feeling? Like, what are those feelings that are going on? So I can be like, I'm doing good today, right? So I can be doing good on this particular day, but all around, like all over, struggling, right? So it's like you could be
of course,
fighting, right, to wake up in the morning, fighting to do this, but today was still a good day because you got through it, right? But I don't know. At least for me, I don't want to just get through the day, right? I want to kind of almost like conquer it in some sort of way. But at the same time, I realize that that's not realistic to kind of conquer every single fucking day. That shit don't happen.
Yeah, not at all.
No, we got life.
Yeah,
we got things that we have to
shit.
deal with, you know? So I don't see that as something that is like realistic that is going to happen. Like where it's like you're in this constant state of bliss or happiness, like you must be on drugs all the time.
No, I think it's just a process.
It is a process.
You know, you have to take those little things. I think that maybe, you know, that same focus that you're treating for that one big thing.
Yeah.
And make little,
but enjoying
like little ones.
the path.
Yeah, enjoying the journey, but also focusing on them.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, like that's what I feel like when I look back at it, because I've been doing a lot of reflection. Because I've noticed that, like I never really, until lately. Never, I feel like, really accomplished anything in my eyes that I really wanted to do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when I really think about it, I never really just kind of like accomplished to other people, because they'd be like, "Oh, damn, like you got up from it." So you accomplishment in that way, but not an accomplishment like did it 2 year on a podcast. Like to me, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah. I see what
you know
you're
what
saying.
I mean, or like that Imani, like that's an accomplishment. You know what I mean, like. To you in your eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So then when those accomplishments were happening, and then it was like still going crazy to low.
Yeah.
It's like, fam, what the
Well,
fuck?
there's this sense of guilt that happens too after that as well,
Yeah.
where it's like, fuck, I'm doing all these good things, but I'm still sad. Like I shouldn't be sad. And it's like, no, it's cool to be sad. It's okay to be sad or have those depressive moments and things of that nature, because it's a human emotion. And I think there's this other aspect too. Like, I also feel like, how do I explain it? There's this sense of shame surrounding being sad about something. Like it's not acceptable to be sad of some sort. Like it's some sort of taboo, like unspoken taboo. Oh, well, you're doing so good, you can't be sad. And it's like, no, you can be. And it's okay to have those feelings, but it's just this odd cycle, because you hit an accomplishment. You have that low that you're talking about. But then you feel guilty for having that low because you just made an accomplishment and you feel like you should be proud of it. Like, you could be proud of yourself, but that's just kind of how it happened. You know, you hit this cycle and like, what do you do next?
Yeah. Now what? What up, people? I just want to say shout out to everyone on the live. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Dimitri. I don't know who's here right now. I can't see. It's a strong. Y'all be in and out. And also shout out to everyone on the YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. Hit that bell. All right. And then soon we're gonna be on Twitch. I think next week we're gonna try Twitch. Now we're trying the actually, maybe I'll fucking try Twitch now. Fuck it. Nah.
Twitch now?
Maybe.
Wow.
No. Next week when we got Zane here, we'll try Twitch. Yeah, that banner does look fire.
It does, doesn't it?
But yeah, it's just interesting to think of, and I think a lot of people that are listening right now are probably go through the same thing, and maybe you don't realize it.
If you listen to this, you're probably gonna listen to it on Monday, because this is gonna stay on. This is gonna stay on Facebook. Or are you gonna take it down?
I'll probably take it down.
Okay,
But
so
either way, they'll go download.
They're gonna listen to this on Monday. So if you're listening to this, make a comment and tell us if you've ever dealt with something like this, and how did you find alleviation from it? What got you out of that low that you were dealing with? Was it making another goal and reaching another high? And how did that work out for you? So make a comment and let us know how you got through that.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting when you really think about it,
right?
and you kind of dig into it. You know, it's interesting. And then I think to maybe stop it from happening again is just maybe just focusing on those other things that are getting you feeling low.
Yeah, for sure. I end up finding that when I do have those lows, I have a lot of feelings of guilt and like worthlessness.
Yeah,
and it even sounds wild saying it out loud. It's so crazy, because like I talk to like my clients, and I talk to June about this stuff, and this is probably the first time I'm actually going back and forth with you about like this very specific thing. But there's that, and it's like do I even deserve to like have this, like those, like you were talking about earlier, those highs, those feelings of like deserving that? And it's like, hell yeah, you worked hard as shit for that. Like, you should deserve this because you worked for it, you know? So it's very complex, because you're still bringing all this baggage from before
into that. And then after that, when that high is done, it's like, what? You know what I mean? And then everything else starts coming with it.
Yeah, it's like a why. It's like, why does this happen?
Yeah.
But I think finding the answer to that why is very, very personal. It's very personal, because it has a lot to do with like what you were talking about earlier, with like things that might have happened when you grew up, or things from your childhood, things like, you know, that you went through adulthood, like how these things impact you. Because I also feel like our choices are motivated by like fear and pleasure. And that sounds so basic, because like, you know, it's a binary, right? But there's so much stuff in between that I guess we have to like knock off, right? And it's like, okay, you know, you maybe something happened to you where we'll say a what if scenario, you know, you were talking to a girl and then they like completely deaded you, but you felt like you did everything right. And then there's these feelings of guilt. Fuck, what did I do to turn out wrong? And it's like, maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was that other person, but because of that scenario, now you look at relationships differently. So you're working from a perspective of fear, right? I'm fearful that this might happen again because of this particular incident. This might happen again. And it's like, you could also work from a point of pleasure, right? It's saying, all right, you know what, this happened to me, but how do I learn from it? And I think working from the perspective of pleasure would be working from the perspective of learning how, going back to our throwback failures, learning how to hold yourself accountable for something that you might have did wrong, and then learning from it. Because then instead of coming from a place of like fear or like pain, we can kind of look at it from a different perspective. Like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna not necessarily, because you don't have to move on. I don't know. I don't feel like you always have to move on from stuff. Like you could move towards a better version of yourself while still holding on to something that might have happened to you and being like, all right, I'm going to hold this close to my heart.
Of course, just not focus on it. Man.
And just, I'm not going to be focused. I'm not going to use this as like something that's going to take me down, but instead I'm just going to hold it close to my heart and I'm going to keep going.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, and so
it just kind of place it, like know where to place it, know what kind of like box it goes in.
Yeah, what kind of box it goes in. Yeah, I don't like to call it like the box, but I get exactly what you're saying. Like, those are things that are personal that we might not ever talk to anybody else about, you know? But there's those super personal things that we don't talk to people about could be things that affect our decision making and our choices. So I guess it will go back to that.
Word. Fire, yo, gems.
That was too deep.
Gems.
We were fucking in this wild ass.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but it's all facts, and I think a lot of people go through it, you know? And it's definitely just interesting because it's like, I think it's one of those things that aren't really talked about, you know? And I think a lot of people, like, you wouldn't know. Like, you wouldn't look at somebody and be like, damn. You know, they're crazy successful. They just had a bang. Like, you think they're good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it can be the total opposite because now they've just succeeded.
Yeah.
And they just don't know where to.
Yeah. It's like the celebrity after the tour. What happens after that?
Yeah.
How are they feeling after it, you know? And it's like, but they're still human. They still have to come to terms with their humanity. And I don't know. I feel like I said earlier, I don't think that humans can be in this perpetual state of joy. It's not, I don't think that that's possible because there's so many things that affect our mood on a day-to-day basis, you know? So I don't think that that's possible, but finding alleviation from depression is absolutely possible. And I feel like that tends to come down to like personal tools in your arsenal.
Yeah.
And some people have more access to others than, you know, to get these proper tools, you know, so. And
some tools work for others, some tools don't.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you made that point because you're absolutely right about that. There's oftentimes something that might work for you, right? That might not work for me. Like I could be like, okay, I need to write. And you're like, fuck writing. I need to listen to music and jog or whatever, you know? And it's like, people need to also do the things that feel safe for them to do, you know, because I might be like, yeah, I'm going to swim because that makes me feel good. But like, I'm not going to say that to somebody who drowned. You know, they might need something else and something else that might make them feel safe and also alleviate some of that pain that they're going through.
Now, what do you tell the person that doesn't maybe know what that is for them? Because they're listening to you, they're like, okay, now, you know, I want to go to my safe place. I want to go to where I feel good. I want to go through what works, right? I want to do the writing. I want to do. They want to get to the destination because they feel you. They get you, right? Like them. Like I understand what you're saying, right? But what is that for me? Not like I'm not talking about me.
No, I understand what you're saying for the listener.
Because there's a listener listening to you right now, and they're like, yeah, Nat.
So
yeah, but then they're like, what is it for me though?
Yeah, so I would say
because then you go back to that worthlessness.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you can't find that, because then there's like, okay, you go back to that worthlessness if you can't find something to help you cope, right? Because you have to be able to learn your triggers. I know things that trigger me and that make me upset or that make me sad, and I know what things that I can do to pacify those things and help bring me comfort. In ways that are non-detrimental. So I always think about what is something that you can do to help alleviate your discomfort in a way that is non-detrimental to yourself.
Yeah, so something positive, not fucking doing fucking drugs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know,
like
I wouldn't recommend anybody going out and doing dope to make themselves feel better. I would, you know, that's not something that'll ever come out of my mouth. So what I say is when I say, you know, you need to do something that makes you feel good, it's like it could be, you might be an introvert, but you might be like, damn, I love going out dancing with friends. That makes me feel good. And that's non-detrimental to you. Like, You know, you might have like one drink that's non-detrimental.
Yeah.
You might smoke some weed that's non-detrimental. So all of those different things that could possibly be useful to you in a way that personally it helps alleviate that discomfort without putting you on a slippery slope.
Of course.
You know, so to the person that has a background,
but I feel you, you know, do those things now, but
that would have to fall in line with their own things that are interesting to them.
Exactly. Now,
yeah,
to get to that point, I think you have to just, if you don't know, you have to work on that list.
You have to experiment.
Yeah, you have to experiment, and I feel like it may not come to you right now. Like if you're listening to this and you know you're trying to make that list and you're trying to think about it, it might be blank.
No, what ended up helping me in making my list and ended up being like you talked about self-assessment. It was self-assessment for me. So I sat there and I was like, okay, what are some things that I'm doing that end up making me feel worse afterwards? And how could I replace that with something else? And then to me, I was so many other things that came to mind, because the obvious one is art. But at some point or another, it doesn't work. It doesn't always work for me to just go out and paint. That's not usually how it works. I can like put on some of my favorite tunes and just kind of like zone out. You know, I could sit in a dark room and I could cry like really fucking hard. And all of these different things that that they don't make me feel horrible afterwards. And I feel soothed. So I don't know, I guess bring it back to a super, I don't know, infantile sort of sense. You know, what helps you feel good in a way that's not going to hurt you.
Yeah. Or, you know, maybe go back to when you feel like maybe you did feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
You
what
know,
things were you doing?
Like that's what I've noticed, at least for me lately. Like I feel like I kind of did it on accident. Like not really thinking about it. Like I wouldn't think, but I guess it was always in me. Mm-hmm. Like the podcast, like I wasn't doing nothing creative. Like as a kid, I was mad creative. Like I was like drawing all the time.
I see.
As a kid, I was very, very creative. I was drawing all the time. I was painting. I was that introvert that was just creating. Like I used to do films like with a camcorder. Awesome. Like I was always in my bag. Even like my entrepreneur type shit. Like I remember I was selling pizza out of a fucking window in my apartments. Nice. Like, but at some point when life happens, you just forget. Yeah,
you get sidetracked.
Exactly.
You got to pay bills. You got family. You have certain things where it's like yesterday was like today, and today was like, you know, is it gonna be like tomorrow? And it just passes by so quick, you know, where you don't have time to enjoy it. And
you get older, and life
truly
happens.
Life happens, and like it sounds crazy, but like I feel like enjoying certain things can be a luxury. Like it's simple to say, oh yeah, just enjoy your life, but it's not. You can't just stop. Like if you need to work 3 jobs to keep the bills paid, it's not your fault that you can't enjoy life, you know. Of course,
so but you do have to figure out a way that you can.
Yeah, something to help alleviate that.
You have to, because how you feel at the end of the day.
Oh, it's important, and it's valid.
It matters. You know what I mean? So if you are that person that's working that 3 jobs, you have to figure out a way not to.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling like shit because you're working like 3 jobs, you have to figure out another way.
Yeah.
Because we do live in a place, and we live in a world, and we live in a technology state. Now, though, you could do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You have to maybe just start.
Yeah. Starting is key. Starting is key, because I also find that when I wait too long to start something, I feel worse about it. And then I kind of feel like so backed up where I'm like, fuck, I'm never going to start. Like I should have been did this. And it's like, well, we can't talk about the shit that we should have been did. We can't go back. So now's the time to start. And if you feel like you need to start,
the time is now.
The time is now. Even if it's doing one thing a day that's working towards your goal, all of those things add up over time, don't they? Yep. So, you know, it makes a big difference to just do one thing that is going to help you achieve your goal every day, even if it's small. All these small steps equal a far distance. That's
actually what has really, like, if I could like say anything about what's helped me, you know, with my battle with depression and all that, is dissecting it. Yeah. So that's so small, like literally taking everything and just dissecting it,
Mm-hmm.
like so small,
Mm-hmm.
like
down to the simplest thing that
yeah,
could be done.
just like back in the day when we used to do fractions in school,
Mm-hmm.
and they would be like, "No, you got to go down in a fucking
Yeah,
remainder."
ground to the smallest. Yeah.
To me, that has helped, and I feel like when I break it down to people and I help a lot of people with it as well, I think it helps them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people it helps,
Mm-hmm.
especially in, as you get older and you have so many different
Mm-hmm.
things. But it's like, let's say you want to start a podcast, like let's start
It
so
could seem
small.
daunting.
Like let's start so small. Like let's just focus on the name.
Yeah.
Don't think of anything else.
Yep. Just that. Let that be your
And
foundation.
then
Build on that.
like just little dissecting everything. So if you're going through it, do some self-assessment, start dissecting. I don't know how we got here. This was a good talk.
This was good. Yeah.
We
No.
I had a bunch of other shit that we were going to talk
What were
about.
you gonna talk about?
Now, well, I really
Oh my
wanted to
God.
get into. I really actually didn't really have a topic, but I kind of did in the back of my head. But we talked about this and fucking it. I think it was a great episode. But I think we'll wait for Zane to get back. I do want to touch on the whole Nipsey Hussle situation.
Yeah. Let's real
know.
quick. Let's just that was hard. Like that was
Word.
a bad thing that happened. So rest in peace, Nipsey, man. Like. This guy was doing really good things for the community and really uplifting his people, giving them jobs, providing businesses, working with the kids to help educate them. There was a lot of things. And, when I say
Very
change,
powerful.
yeah, it's powerful. Like change is not going to come from a top down. It's going to
Word.
come within our own communities.
And that's what I want to say that for a whole episode, because there's so much stuff we got to get into with
Yeah.
that. Because it's really leadership.
Mhm.
And this whole situation with Nipsey really started reminding me of that dude, TR.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because TR was like
That guy.
getting that. He was another Nipsey. You know what I mean? Like he really was. And that he was getting there.
Mhm.
He was in that direction. That's where he was going. His mindset was there.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about that. So we'll definitely do it the next one. Because there's so much with that. But as rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, his
For
whole
sure,
family. And not even just him, because there's a lot of times there's situations and around the world that someone could be going through the same exact thing as Nipsey
Absolutely.
Hussle. But you're not getting that kind of like attention.
Yeah.
But just know, like,
For sure.
it does. You matter. You matter as well. Like your situation matters as well. Obviously he was a celebrity, and it's horrible and stuff like that. But your situation matters as well.
Absolutely.
Just because it's not publicized.
Yeah.
And we know, like I said, we're gonna get more into it. It's still fresh.
It is.
It
It is
so
still
I think
fresh.
we will let it sit a little bit, and then we'll really get into it. We went over a lot of different stuff. I know damn sure if you probably want some resources on some of the things we were talking about, some real facts and things like that. Guarantee you can find a book. You can find an audiobook on it. So you can use our code, audibletrial.com/therapy without a degree. All right. Go get yourself a book. I recommend 10X by Grant Cardone. Go check that out. It just basically says just 10X everything. Just whatever you think you're going to do. Like if you think you're going to move that pen over here, you got to do that shit 10 times. Like whatever. He's like, if you're going to say you're going to have 10 people at your show, you got to plan for 100.
Sweet.
Like everything 10X. So go check it out. Check that book out. Speaking of that too, I almost forgot. I released the date for my book for the
Congratulations,
4
Joe.
E's. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Marv on the boards. But yeah, the 4 E's to succeed in social media for brands, hustlers, and entrepreneurs. I showed most of it to Zane. He says I gotta chill. He says I'm giving y'all all the sauce.
You're going to have to put that shit in a 2-part book, Joe.
Nah, we gotta do it for the people. But he says I'm giving too much sauce. But fuck it.
Well, they're going to have to pay for the sauce, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Fuck it. I'm Italian. Give you the sauce. Nah, but for real, June 28th, it's actually my mom's birthday.
Sweet.
So for my mom's birthday, I'm gonna be releasing my first book, and for real, go check out my Instagram too. I'm dropping like little gems from it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dropping like been taking it. I'm like, okay, what's a really dope part about it here? I'm gonna make a graphic about it, stuff like that. So, and follow us on Instagram, Nat Cruz Tattoos.
Yes, Nat Cruz Tattoos on Instagram.
Word, therapy without a degree. Zane's not here, but I am Zane Studios or I am Zane Magazine. Midnight Chaser coming very, very soon.
Very soon. We're holding out on a little bit of information, but we will tell you very soon.
Word.
And so this drops on Monday. My art show's on Saturday.
There we go.
So April 13th. We got our fingers in a lot of stuff right now.
we working.
We are. We're staying busy, guys. We're staying pretty busy. Between all three of us, we all have projects going on. But April 13th, I'm having an art show. It's going to be in Belleville, New Jersey. The tickets include food and drinks, and you can bring your own drink if you'd like. But I'm going to have, I have a list of incredible artists. It's going to be great. I have some vendors there. I'm going to have performers there. And I'm also going to be giving away a couple things. I'm going to give away a gift card for a tattoo, and I'm also going to give away something else that's super sexy, so you don't want to miss out on that.
Hey.
But yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, yo, dude, it's gonna be great.
Can't wait.
So you can go on my Instagram.
What are the hours again? Because it's there till 9, right?
3 to 9 p.m. for sure, but performers don't start until 7, so I kind of wanted to wait until so I figured that would be a good time.
Let people get out of work.
Yeah, for sure. So the ticket's $10, food and drink, and then $10 off any item that you see on the show to purchase, which is awesome. But don't miss it. It's going to be great. It's going to be local. It's going to be a bunch of local artists and vendors and owners. Please
go get yourself some art. Yo, I got a new room too. I might go buy some art for my room.
I'm saying, yo, we're going to have prints and originals on sale. And you can go on my Instagram, Nat Cruz Tattoos. And then right there in my bio, you'll see the link. You could just go in, click, and buy as many tickets as you want. There's no limit. Yeah,
like
there's a lot of couples coming because I'm seeing them in twos, but the tickets are limited because the space is limited. So please go and get them soon.
And don't do what you did for our event.
Fucking last minute.
Don't do that.
Well, it's on Saturday.
Give people like heart attacks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
we almost
like
didn't have enough pizza for y'all.
Nah, I'm like, yo, fam, like, yo, y'all crazy. You should have like a I got you button. You should have like I'm gonna come, but I don't get paid yet. You should have that button.
Well, that's why it's on Saturday, because I figured on Saturday is a safe side, and you know I wanted to utilize enough of the time. But on Saturday, y'all probably gonna have gotten paid. They
need a ticket button to where it's like I'm 99% coming. I just don't got the money yet. But I'm definitely coming, so you know, because you know there's mad people but they probably knew they were coming.
Mm-hmm. Listen, $10 is super affordable, guys. $10.
Oh, hell yeah.
You probably buy coffee 4 times a week.
Fucking Chipotle is like fucking $13.
Come on.
So you coming? No excuses. You're gonna be there, or else. Also, shout out to Bravery Studios. We got Marv on the boards. There we go.
Okay.
Hey, Bravery Studios. Start up your podcast. All right. If you're watching this, see this sexy studio. All right. You can record in here. Your show could be here. Your idea could be here.
Yep.
Right? And over here at Bravery Studios is more than just saying, go do your show, bro. You know, have fun. Like Marv walks you through it.
Yeah.
This dude does graphic design. We have in the house too. We got so many different people that do so many different type of shit. Mm-hmm. So like, if you just have an idea, I guarantee if you come into this building, whatever idea you have will be fully executed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And be brave. Like, for real. Be
bravery up, guys.
Exactly. Bravery up.
Come on.
Be brave. Make that idea happen. Thank you for watching. Therapy Without a Degree. Nat Cruz Tattoos.
Yo, always a pleasure, Joe.
For real.
I love this.
Shout out to Tay, too. Tay couldn't make it, but we're gonna have Tay on again soon. Shout out to Zane. And I think that's it. Probably forgetting something, but stay tuned.
Yeah, no shout outs this week.
No.
You
I almost forgot about that shit. Yeah, no. Shout your shit out.
All right, it's okay.
Shout your, what do you got? You want me to go?
Yeah, go.
She's like, fuck. I thought I had one over.
Damn. It's cool.
Nah. What the fuck am I shouting at? I don't do shit with my life. You know what I mean? Like, I just work. I want to shout out like one of my businesses, but I don't want to do that. Fuck me.
Joe does graphic designs, guys.
Pay
him for your graphics.
Yeah, you know, for real. I'll be working hard out here. Actually, no. Shout out to Somos. Restaurant.
Damn.
It's a restaurant in North Arlington. Okay, I've been doing a lot of work for them. But it's not even like they don't even know. I don't even know if they know I do a podcast. Like I hope they do. But so I'm not even giving them a plug for that reason. I'm just saying their food is really, really fucking good. I had some churrasco the other day.
Oh, churrasco?
Yeah,
damn.
I don't know how to like roll my tongue like that. So it's just churrasco. but that shit was mad good. Like, I can't roll.
Yo, you
bro.
fucking wild.
I'm just saying I can't roll the tongue, so it's just churrasco or
It's cool. It's cool.
How do you churrasco?
Churrasco.
Nah, we'll try a couple of more episodes. Maybe
Gotta
by,
get
like,
that ra.
like episode 160. The raw. Marv gotta teach me. He's Spanish. I got a lot of Spanish people around me. I gotta teach me the raw.
Oh, yeah.
So go check out Somos Restaurant on Instagram. It's a really, really amazing place. Good venue, good music, and that's it. And Nat, what you got?
We gotta go over there. I want to shout out Raquel at Rose Productions. This is where I'm gonna be doing the event, but she has been so incredible to me. I'm actually doing art classes over there as well. I'm doing both. I don't even know if I told you. I gotta tell you, but yeah, I'm gonna be doing both parent and child classes as well as just adult paint and sip classes.
And I can't wait to bring Jay there.
Dude, she's gonna love it.
Yeah, she's gonna.
That's genuine like joy. I love that. She's gonna love it because I have a special curriculum depending on the age group that we get. So it's gonna be awesome. We're preparing for springtime, so we're gonna be doing all kinds of arts and crafts. It's only $25 per person, and then if you bring 3 people, you get $10 off, and then if you bring 5 people, you get $25 off. So bring 5 people, you could bring like your cousin, your niece, you know, and $25 off. That's one person for free. So you get everything that you make. Like, we provide everything for you, and you get to keep, you know, the thing that you make, whether it's a canvas or a birdhouse or a shirt or hats, whatever. We're going to be doing it at Rose Production Studios in Belleville, New Jersey, 86 Overlook Ave. So at Rose Productions on Instagram, and roseproductions.online is their website, so you can go take a look at that. So thank you, Raquel. You're the bomb.
Word.
Shout out to you.
Y'all real. Thank you very much. Also, none of y'all been giving me your lupus facts. I told y'all, I am not giving you the fact. I want y'all to do your research. All right? Because I want you guys to get more educated on it. I want you guys to do some research of your own.
Be passionate.
All right? For real. Like, start looking into it a little bit. I want someone that's listening to this right now to go educate yourself a little bit on lupus, because a lot of times we all know about cancer. We know about all these different things, right? But you don't know about lupus, and I want you guys to go educate yourself a little bit on it.
Word.
So go drop in the comments or somewhere, just a little something that you learned about lupus.
Word.
All right, and the link is in therapy.degree.com if you want to donate at least $1 or anything to someone in my family that has lupus.
Absolutely.
So other than that, we out. Nat, it's been real.
Yo.
Marv on the boards.
Thank you always, Marv.
Word. Peace.
That was good.